Good morning, folks, and welcome to FYI. Wherever you're joining us from, we are coming to you live from the Turks and Caicos Island, the Turks and Caicos Island, folks. Good to have you guys here with us, wherever you are joining us from this morning. Beatrice Selby, we see you there, Beatrice. And we see you, Debbie Collins and Yolanda Thomas. Dolly Anderson, we see you as well, folks. Situations beyond our control last night. We could not have been with you, and we apologize. We've been out partying. We apologize. We're going to have you, Debbie Collins and Beatrice Selby, Sherlyn Juice Etendry. Good to have you there, and all the other folks who are joining us. Latoya Spencer is here as well. Good to see you, Latoya, and Leon Blair. Mr. Students with the monitors, which are up higher. You got to look right down now. Jennifer Griffith, but it is what it is. We're happy we out here with you guys. Good to see you, folks. Karen is here. Good to have you, Karen. There was a Karen with us last night, singing the night away. Tessa Waterman and Nelson, good to have you as well. Edward Brooms, good to have you, Edward, and all the other fantastic folks who are joining us this morning. Great to have you guys as well. Guys, good to have you, folks. We are fired up and we're ready to go. What's for breakfast at your end? What's making the news at your end as well? Do tell us, folks. We want to know. We fast like that. So please, don't keep us in suspense too much longer. We would like to know how you guys are doing, what's for breakfast, and what's perhaps happening in the morning papers, wherever you're joining us from. We are pushing through to some other pages at our end. So wherever you're picking up the broadcast from, folks, we are simply delighted that you're here. We count it a privilege that you folks can join us this morning from the myriad places that you coming from and you join us. Ingrid Crawford, we see you there, Ingrid. We see you there. Savannah Page is here as well. And some of the other folks like Roderick Henry. Roderick, we see you there too. And we see Vanessa De Silva and Sharon Mercurius. Ayabo Natasha Congreves is here too. Loretta Argyle. I have Brenda Moore too. And Jolie Ellicott. Folks, the sleep is still in me. We came in about 2 o'clock last evening. We were out to the speakers ball last night. It was a black tie affair, and folks, my God, the police force band in Turks and Caicos. My Jesus, have mercy. But you know what happens in Turks and Caicos, and Caicos stays here, folks. Can't tell you everything, but we were out to beautiful. The Speaker of the National Assembly here in Turks and Caicos. He had a ball, a black tie affair last evening, and that detained us into the wee hours of the morning. But I'm so privileged. A little sleep in me still. Still privileged to be here with you folks. Fennell Innes, Savannah Page, Lyndon Gill. Good to see you guys from the various places where you're joining us from this morning. Lyndon Gill is here with us, and we've got Ingrid Crawford as well. Good to see you folks. Heading back to Georgetown in just a little bit, folks. Heading back for a couple of days, and then the adventure begins all over again. The on the road adventure begins all over again. Good to see you, Roderick. Roderick says we're big in Guyana. We're big. Latoya Spencer, Vanessa, good to have you. And the other folks who are joining us, we're privileged to have you guys as well. We're trying to get our ducks in a row at this end. Trying to get our ducks in a row. All right. What's happening with Exxon at your end, folks? A lot of stories to cover. We see the trade wind exercise closing. We got a couple of things to cover. This morning, we're just delighted that you guys are here with us. Gail Adcock, we see you. Ayabo, Ingrid Austin, Zola Cameron. How are you doing, Zola? Good to have you here with us, Zola. Seymour George is here as well. Lorraine Garnett is here too. Folks, wherever you're joining us from, we encourage you to share the live and smash that emoji button. And I hope I get through the few minutes we have together in one piece. The lights, like they're affecting me this morning. If I have an hour more sleep, I think I'd be hitting the ground running. Seymour George, Maxine Monroe. Good to have all of you here, folks, with us this morning, and we want to turn our attention to a couple of things we're following In the morning papers at our end, good folks, a couple of the things we're following in the morning papers. We're going to circle out some of the stuff we're covering internationally, some of the stuff we're covering in the region, folks, and then we're going to circle back to some of the other things we're covering in the 592, and you guys should know by now, it's never a dull moment. It's simply never, 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 never a dull moment. But as I said, folks, we're just happy and we're delighted to have each and every one with you. We're just happy and delighted to have each and every one here with us, folks. Share the live, pay some power, boots on the ground, folks. We're backing down. We're going to turn our attention to some of what we're following in the morning papers this morning. How y'all are doing now? How you keeps? Sharon Dillon, Tony Fraser, David Wood, Gloria Fraser. A blessed Thursday morning to you, Gloria, and all of other valid viewers. Valid viewers. We want invalid ones. We don't want invalid ones tall, as the Antiguans would say. We don't want them tall. Folks, some of what we're covering in the morning papers this morning. Denise, Desiree, as a matter of fact, or Desiree, depends on where you're living. Desiree, Tessa, Ayabo, David, Cheryl Glenn is here. We got Collis Roberts too. Leon Logan is here with us as well. Cheryl, how are you doing? Cheryl Glenn? Good to have you, Cheryl. Good to have you, Cheryl. Folks, I want to direct your attention to some of what we're following the morning papers. Anne says no catfish. That's what Anne Nelson telling us this morning. No catfish, Anne says. No catfish. Having some, I think it's sorrel tea we're having this morning. Is that so? Some sorrel tea. Well, we're watching that. We're watching this sorrel tea, good folks. And let's touch on some of what we're following in the morning papers. Let's touch on some of that. While I still have the energy. The heat is on. The heat is on for summer. Did tell you that I'm feeling a kind of a way. We're a little closer to the equator. At our end, we're a little bit closer to the equator at our end, folks. And the scientists are saying that climate change role in the July heat wave is overwhelming. That's what the scientists are saying. Human-induced climate change has played an absolutely overwhelming role in the extreme heat waves that have swept across North America, Europe, and China during July. Absolutely overwhelming. But I did complain to you. If there's anything to complain about in Turks and Caicos Islands, if there's anything to complain of here, it's the heat. I think at this end we're a little more closer to the sun. That's my own reckoning of it. All right. Beautiful island, Turks and Caicos. And the refrain I hear the natives here sing all the time is, beautiful by nature. Folks, I did indicate to you that your boy went to a governor's ball last evening. And that statement, beautiful by nature, it never seemed more relevant and pertinent than last evening. Oh boy. The women in the beautiful Turks and Caicos, folks. Sweet Lord, Lord. The females here, something special, boy. The Trinis would say, you would like yourself. As the Trinis would say, Anthony Jarvis, you would like yourself. You would like yourself. Karen Black, good to have you, Karen. If you see the specimen, oh my Lord, you would like yourself. Paul Charles, you would like yourself. So I had a fantastic time there. But the heat, my Lord. My Lord, they're very close to the US at this end in terms of the Caribbean geography. They're very close to the US here. Right? So it takes longer to get dark, just like in the US. 7:15, you're outside the place, bright, bright, bright. This will be becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. And I reckon this will happen with this heat too. And folks, not only are the scientists saying that, there's an absolutely overwhelming role of this heat wave, right? Of this heat wave with human-induced climate change. But also, listen to this one. Separate and apart from that, also, they're telling us a study has found heart attack death risk can double during heat waves and high pollution. Heart attack death risk can double. Hope LeBron James' son is better now. But he had a cardiac arrest quite recently. His cardiac arrested him. All of that, scientists say, can be attributed to this heat wave. So you get all kinds of consequences emanating from that. And that's just one of the things we're following, guys, in the morning paper. Now, this story is a sad one. Right? Leroy Griffith, Latoya Spencer, Anthony Jarvis, Carol Rollins. Hear this one here now. Carol. Hear this one here. This one is so sad. We love to see when our young people are doing well. Progressing in the right direction. We love when it happens. But in this instance here, folks, one of the things making the morning papers, they're telling us that this young man, right, a laborer of Hope Lowlands on the East Coast, folks, he's just 26 years old. And his body was found in a canal. I'm talking about Yesh Paul Thomas, right? Called Ashe. They said he was a known alcoholic. And the police pulled his lifeless body out of a canal in Hope Lowlands. His wife, he's 26, she's 39. His 39-year-old reputed wife related that Thomas had left home for work on Sunday, but never returned. Never returned home. Tuesday morning, they went to Cove and John to lodge this missing person report. When she received information that the body of a male was found afloat in the canal at Hope Lowlands. Yep, the life and times of Yash Paul Thomas. The life and times of Yash Paul. See the thing called alcohol? Ain't no good. That thing called alcohol ain't no good, folks. Thoughts and prayers go to Yash Paul's family. Or thoughts and prayers go out to them. Additionally, Jacqueline, so true Hector, Sion Salvatore, Yonet Etwa, Margaret Nelson. In addition to that, Harbor Bridge, they said coming along. Hope you guys have not been put out too much by the consequences of the repairs. The guy said the Harbor Bridge coming to come. Right? Span 9 has been replaced, and they're telling us that testing is underway to allow for a reopening tomorrow. They want to reopen tomorrow, and this has been down for the last 72 hours. And they say everything is coming to come. Everything is coming to come. And that's good, folks, is what's happening on that front there. That is what's happening on that front with the Marble Harbor Bridge. And we regret the inconvenience. The folks at Chinese Landing, they're very thankful. The folks at Chinese Landing, very thankful for what has come out recently of this matter that went before this UN body. Trying to get the name of it right. Trying to get the name of it right. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. It has granted our indigenous brothers and sisters a reprieve. The article says the indigenous community of Chinese Landing in Region 1 overjoyed with the resolution of the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, which on Friday granted it protective measures. Yep. So a lot of folks, a lot of things are happening there. It's time this installed regime stop taking the people's land and giving it out. It's high time. Those people have a right, our indigenous brothers and sisters have a right to that land. So through Hector, Gordon Bradford, Sabrina Blue, Minty Gribzandi, they have a right to that land. But the folks not allowing them, and the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights handed down a decision recently. Will the government observe it? That's the next question. Will the government observe it? Will they? Who knows? Folks, quite recently, we spoke with Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford about a case matter that was won, upheld by the High Court, I think it was. Right? This matter was upheld. And this concerns the usurping, overthrowing the coup that happened at the Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. Quite recently, the judge, in his decision, said that Trevor Ben got to go back then take up his seat, Dandilal. Marcia Agard, Beryl Crawford, he got to go back then take up his seat. Out. Van Slytman in. Trevor Ben. He has to go there and take his seat up. That's part of what Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford told us. Yesterday, folks, Melanie Adams, we saw Attorney Ford with his client and the credit union, relaying to the general manager, I think it was, what was the outcome of this court case. Right? It's quite interesting times, folks. Take a look and take a listen to some of what Senior Counsel Ford said as he was there at the chamber of the Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. Take a look, folks, and take a listen. Some of what Attorney Roysdale Ford said. I think we got some comment by Ben himself. Congrats, Mr. Ben. Congrats to you and Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford. Take a look and take a listen, good folks. Marcy Agard, Sharon Alfonso, Pauline Johns, Claudia Gibson John. Take a look and take a listen.
Once you're aware, Justice McBenton Singh ruled that three persons, the chairman, the secretary, and less than no bill.
No.
Ruth Howard.
Member.
The three of them must not partake or exercise any functions in relation to the union. The code also specifically ruled that Mr. Ben, Mr. Rajdai Jaggernaut, and Mr. Patrick Mentor are to assume and exercise the functions that three of them previously held. That order takes effect immediately from yesterday. So we're here today with two of the three persons who have been identified and specifically ordered by the court to exercise the functions of management in relation to the offices previously held by the three women. So I believe that it is our duty to come specifically to inform you so that you'll be able to facilitate and cooperate with the exercise of those specific functions going forward. You have any questions?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
Does it Miss Jaggernaut is not in jurisdiction at this time?
Okay. I guess that explains.
So we understand that a couple of people, all of the persons that the judges name are traveling on credit union business at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, so they will not be in the jurisdiction for another couple of days. Yeah. So in the meanwhile, two things I would like to say in relation to the judge's order. One, that the three people named, myself, Patrick Mentor, and Raj, would take responsibility for what's going on in the credit union going forward. And secondly, that the decision, the earlier decision of the court with respect to the holding of special general meeting be the priority of the credit union. So that's what we're going to be focusing on going forward. And the business of the credit union will not be stopped, but our main focus will be to hold that special general meeting and keep in with the members' wishes. In relation to the participation of the three name committee members, the judges rule that they must not occupy any executive office. So all functions performed by them at this moment with respect to executive functions would cease until the judge says otherwise. So that's the information for you at this time, and we'll talk a little bit more about how we will move forward.
I've also advised them, it's their decision to make, but I've also advised them that having been appointed by the court at this stage and taking control of a financial organization, that it would be prudent that they have an audit done to make an assessment as to where the organization is now and what would have happened prior to the court's order under which we assume and exercise authority. So I hope that you would also facilitate and cooperate with them in relation to that. I believe that that is quite understandable. Because you're taking control of a financial institution without knowing exactly where and what would have transpired before. Any other questions? Any concerns?
No.
Do you get any, you see any challenges with regard to what senior counsel just?
No, it's prudent to have the audit done, given the change. But just to know that we do have currently the audit for 2022 that is ongoing. But
It started already?
yeah, we would have started that process.
So this is a more specific audit for the purpose of understanding where we are, a quick check of the financial standing of the credit union, so it doesn't entail the big audit that the normal audit would do it on an annual basis. One specific request I have is for a list of all travel done. You know, one of the things that we complained about under the Patrick Yard leadership was the excessive amount of money spent on traveling overseas. We've seen that continue under the leadership of Karen Van Slytman. So one specific request I would have is for a list of all travel completed in the past year and the costs associated with those travel.
When you expect it?
I will leave it up to the CEO to decide how soon she can get it to us. How soon you think you could get that put together?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow midday.
Midday. Okay.
Any other senior counsel?
I think this is sufficient. We have explained to the CEO the order.
Any other?
So this is from 2021, 2022.
For the past year,
Okay.
not the past year.
April.
2021 April
April.
to come to current.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? No, she's not serious. Uh-huh.
Oh, you don't know the way.
Just 1 minute, let her come on. She's me. How are things otherwise, CEO? Let's see, got a busy day
Yeah,
downstairs.
pretty much.
In terms of the loans, have we been issuing loans to mortgage and car loans?
Yes, every day.
Every day you issue them. What's the waiting period right now for?
So we have, based on our budgetary allocation for the mortgages and car loans, our next, the waiting period, we have scheduled actually. So we have courses scheduled.
So if I apply today, how long it takes for me to be interviewed, for example?
If you apply today, as in you have submitted your documentation, then we will give you a date as to.
And what that date would be, how long from today that would
Based
be?
on the schedule.
And on average?
Um,
What's the waiting period and average waiting period?
I don't want to say the average waiting period to be scheduled, because as I said, there's a schedule,
Yeah.
and right now our schedule is full to November. So
Full
if
to
you-
November, so if I apply today,
you
I
will be
can't
on
have an
pending
interview
list. No,
until-
you'll be on a pending list until the space becomes available. So I can't say, well, exactly 2 weeks, a month, a week.
so how many applications you get per day?
On average, about, let's say, 2 to about 10, 2 to 5, about.
So if we
on a daily
get 10
basis. Applications to what in particular?
for mortgages and car loans,
Mortgages, 1 to 5.
per day,
Not necessarily per day, but
how much per week? Let's
let's
say
say per
average
week, on average per week, let's say about 1 to 5.
per week.
Yeah.
And so that means it's about 20 per month.
And
And
about,
how many officers we have on the ground at the moment,
we have 2 mortgage officers
working every day,
working every day.
and yet we're taking up this time 3 months to do the
No,
interview.
because we are working with a budgetary allocation as well, so
So it's about the budget, it's not about
it's
The
about the
efficiency
budget
of
as
the
well.
staff.
It is about the budget as well.
I have one, as an applicant, I have one,
it's Mr. Keith Marks, one of the applicants.
one little problem. Seeing that I'm an applicant in this matter, many persons will reach me either by WhatsApp, personal calls, complaining about the timings, the waiting for the loans, the amount of signatures, and as recently with this back to school loan, because I personally get a call, whereby they call in and say that, oh, we still owe 5,000. I heard of some woman said the call she intended she owed 20,000. When she come to pay, the records say show that she owes nothing. So I don't know if you could look into that.
So just give me the name, because I know we're doing calls to members who would have taken the last back to school money.
Yeah.
And if they have not paid that off, they would have to pay that before they can.
Yeah, but in the case of the
contract
one
for
who
the
owed
other one.
20,000,
So you just give me the
When she
information and I'll do
come-
the follow up on that. 'Cause
when she come, I don't have the woman name and handwritten, right? But I know Miss Elisa Moore, she was the 10,000 person.
Alisa Moore?
Yes, from the Ghana Purpose GPO.
All right, folks, that's some of what's going on there at that end. Some of what went on at that end, folks, we're following yesterday at the Ghana Cooperative Credit Union, Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, and Chairman Trevor Benny is back. Chairman Trevor Ben is back, and we want to say congrats to all of those folks. Congrats to all of them. All of them. The judge wasn't making any joke. The judge wasn't making any joke. And I'm happy that Senior Counsel Royce Ford went in there and, moved things forward. Can't get no vacuum in leadership. But for me, it's the people overseas, the leadership that's overseas on credit union business, one day carrying in, next day carrying out. You see, when you're digging hole for people, as we say colloquially in Guyana, Pam Halls, Pam, when you're digging hole for people, Trevor, Ingrid King, Trevor Lilly, Cece Logal, Grace Noel, when you're digging hole for people, I'm surprised at some of them. Very much surprised at some of them. Some people shouldn't even wait. Just sending a resignation. You're not even obligated to send in a resignation. Just beat out. Trevor and his team started something good at the credit union. They started something good there. Right? And then when people envy us and so on, all kinds of things has happened. Tesla knows the truth we're talking. Right? Sheila Boychild, knows the truth we're talking. Trevor and his team went in there and in short notice did a couple things. Why you gotta wait 3 months, 4 months for a loan? I'm gonna go back in now. Gloria. Gloria can go back in now. You see? The thing is going good. And then the devil find work for them. The devil find work for a whole pack of them. Congrats to our brother Trevor Ben and his team there, the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. Folks, that union can do a lot of good and has been doing a lot of good. I even have them get some members. I talked to some folks who said, you better join up if it's no good for you. You better join up. Better join up. So congrats again to the chairman, he's back. Pam, 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 pam. He's back, folks. He's back, the one and only. I want to say congrats to Trevor Ben. That's one, folks. With the time we have left, want to circle to some of the other issues making the news this time, folks. Congrats to Ben and team. Turn attention a little bit to what we're following internationally. When they're digging hole for people, you see, when they're digging hole for people, Sandra Baptiste, you see that, Sandra? Savita Richards, Paulette Greaves. God don't like ugly. Father don't like ugly. Look what else we're following, folks. On the Joe Biden front, internationally, the U.S. has now begun supplying the Hague court, right, with information, with evidence pertaining to Russia's war crimes in Ukraine. Oh, Biden them, they getting a little cussed out the other day for this because they were a little reluctant or they were holding the cards close to the chest. But they've said they've started now releasing this information to The Hague. Evidence of Putin's war crimes in Ukraine. Are we happy for that? You see, we gotta bring this thing to an end, We can't keep going on and on and on and on. We gotta bring it to an end. Gotta get a conclusion. That's one of the things we're following, folks. Internationally, regionally, and when we talk region, we're talking about the Latin America, South America, into the Caribbean. My oh my. That's what we're talking about, folks. Some of what we're talking about. And look what we're picking up on that front. Folks. One of the world records that are held by Usain Bolt was broken quite recently. Records, they say, are meant to be broken. Records are meant to be broken. Noah Lyles broke Usain Bolt's 200-meter record. Noah Lyles. Remember the name? Noah Lyles. Right? He made history by breaking Usain Bolt's record for the most 200-meter races in less than 20 seconds following his 19.47 time just last Sunday. Congrats. See, this is what our young people should be doing. You see? Shattering records, using the energy, positive things. But not some we want to say congrats to Noah Lyles. Congrats to Noah Lyles and breaking that record. Tremendous accomplishment. And we want to take nothing away from him. So congrats to him. Congrats to him. Look what else happening in the Caribbean, folks. Look what else we're following. Ivan Ramasar, Roy Garraway, Ingrid Ambrose, Naomi Drucker. Look what else we're following. My. Here we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Carrie Simmons in Barbados. And he is defending, they say, an MOU that was signed for the development of the Grantley Adams Airport. And an MOU that was signed to develop this airport. Some folks are of the belief that it's a waste of money. Some folks are of that belief. But part of what Mr. Minister, part of what he was saying is that some of these things and facilities and operations in Barbados need to be updated. Need to be updated. Part of what the minister said is that to stay in front, especially the tourism sector, right? Carrie Simmons said, this is the minister again of Foreign Trade, Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Jamaica got to make the investments to stay in front. Make the investment. Hear what the fellow said. Right? It may surprise this country. This is Jamaica he's talking about. It may surprise this country that likes to flatter itself into believing that we are known, that we know what luxury tourism is. It may surprise this country that we who like to flatter ourselves into believing that we know what luxury tourism is. But the takeaways has been that what we have here is a reduced quality. What they have in Jamaica, this is the minister talking, Carrie Simmons. He said, what we have here is a reduced quality. Well, if Jamaica got a reduced quality, what the rest of we got? Who's sharing the light this morning? So he says, Jamaica got to make the investments in its airports. Right? Because we ain't got no fancy thingy. That's what the fellow is saying. And they got to make the investments in other facilities to stay out front. And he named a couple resorts that need some work. Folks, this governor's ball here in St. Yeah, I can forget things where they're now. Huh? It's with me there. The Turks and Caicos Islands, right? Because it's St. This speaker's ball was held at a place called Beaches. Well, y'all know I fast. I asked him the whole history of the place. Anaya Kingston, Andrew Griffith, they said it's a Jamaican fellow made that investment. The resort is called Beaches. I hope I get capturing it right. Folks, if you all see the piece of real estate this place on. If you see the facility, oh, we made a mess of it last night. If you see the expanse of land, I started inquiring because as we were passing the lobby, I saw Andrew Holness photograph up behind the receptionist area there. So I said, like, I'm in the wrong country, like I sleepwalking. So I started minding the business, fine. I said, how come Andrew photograph up there? Some folks started giving me the history of how this fella came and developed this piece of real estate here. Huge expanse of real estate that is a resort. They said it's a tongue in a tongue. When you come at this resort, you don't need to leave anything. Everything is come meet you right there. It's right there. All inclusive. It's right there. You know, we think we got something. Right? I asked some colleagues here with us. I said, we don't take nothing and say we could better ourselves. Yeah? We don't take nothing and say we could better ourselves. You know, my colleague tell me, huh? That all ministers is say, it's when we can get like this. Never dull moment. It's when we can get like this. That is what they say. The ministers say. We don't come and see we could copy something positive. How we copy this corruption, Jacobitism, big headism? How we copy this COVID and dengue fever? We don't copy nothing positive. If you see this place, and when that band last night strike up, folks, I was like butter. Me, by the time to take the video, I was like, when the band struck up last night, I look around this place and I said, and this is it now. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade defended the development being done to the Grand Adams Airport. He said, we're nowhere yet. Y'all think y'all are a luxury destination? Not with that kind of airport. I've never been to Jamaica. So I don't know the extent to what the minister is referring to. But I went to St. Kitts and Nevis Airport. Y'all heard me complain about this. I was struck. I was surprised by the airport, St. Kitts and Nevis. But I dare say they were under construction, which means they know that they got to do some work too, like Jamaica perhaps. Right? Like Jamaica perhaps. I will tell you this, and I've always said this, right? Guyana is a beautiful place, and there's so much to see. Georgetown is not Guyana. Neither is Region 4. Neither is Region 6 or 3, for that matter, nor 5. Right? Guyana has such expanses of beauty as you go further out. But see this little rock here called the Turks and Caicos Islands? And we're in an area called Providenciales, Provo. That's where we are. Provo, short for Providenciales. Okay, it's big fancy name from. Oh, it's amazingly beautiful. Amazingly beautiful. Oh, the father upstairs, he taking time, really making some places and stitching earth together with flora and fauna. He took his time. Sweet Jesus. As I told you all, you should see the ladies. He really slowed down there. He really slowed down at that point. Oh, Father. You really slow down. And the ladies of the Turks and Caicos Islands. I shared a moment with the governor quite recently. Fantastic woman. Fantastic woman. You know, and it's such a beautiful region. When you listen to Caribbean people, we meet like this, and we're talking about parliamentary issues. Well, we put some of that aside last night, I can tell you. We put aside some of those parliamentary issues. And I'll only say what happens in Turks and Caicos. You know, it says here, I put aside some of the last thing. Folks in the 592, we got to bring things down now. We got to bring you back to reality now. In the 592, we got quite a few things happening. In the 5 of the 9 of the 2, back to the bridge. I think we touched on this earlier. They said that span 9 is back in place. The testing now, and they're hoping to have the bridge open back by Friday. Good. The testing. They hope to have the Harbor Bridge open back by Friday. All right. Forbes built something when he put on this Harbor Bridge, boy. It's outlived. You know, many time, make it money, and gone on. Long after that, you know, Forbes was really ahead. Right? Forbes was really ahead. Right? Linda Thomas saying, Mr. Duncan, please don't pee anyway. Y'all know y'all label, you know. Ah! Y'all know y'all label. Right? Forbes knew what he was doing when he put on the Harbor Bridge. But the other point we want to make, we saw them boys saying that this Georgetown Region 3, so the next stop they have there is trying to get the exact area. Let me find my place in my notes. They're moving from Region 3 to Georgetown. Well, not to Georgetown, to the East Bank. I think they're landing folks now at, is it Peters Hall? Somewhere along the line there. Can't seem to find my place in my notes. Right? They're landing folks somewhere at Peters Hall. Sorry, it's Wales to Diamond. Wales to Diamond. Good. Found my way. And MARAD, this is the Maritime Administration, they said they would be licensing more passenger boats to ply the Wales to Diamond route. And I think that makes a little bit more sense. So thanks, Marad. You take out some of the traffic from on the road. You cut out landing in behind Sabruk Market there and having to take a bus up to Diamond. You shuttle people right to Diamond, from Wales to Diamond. So they're issuing additional licenses for passenger boats to ply the Wales to Diamond route. They said depending on demand for the service after the Harbor Bridge resumes. After the Harbor Bridge resumes. Wales to Diamond. I think it's a fantastic idea. And once you have the market, the authorities said they're going to be going in that direction. They're going to be going in that direction. The Wales to Diamond. I think that's a good idea. I know for sure Ben didn't take that up. Almost certain. Money got for MEC, folks. Anton Nicholson, Jennifer Griffith, Ayabo Natasha. Money, Hafi, MEC. Hess is boasting. It made, I think, $119 million in profit. This is US, yeah? Just so you know. Yeah? This is $119 million in second quarter profits. Right? And Hess expects higher production in Guyana this year. This is second quarter of 2023. It has made $119 million in profits. I was checking out the other day where the Hess CEO lives. Right? We some real Paku, boy. We some real Paku. Right? If my memory serves me correctly, the Hess CEO, whatever his name is, lives in an exclusive area in Manhattan. Right? Even to live ordinary in Manhattan is money. Living around Central Park, to have an apartment around Central Park area is money. And he lives in an exclusive area there in Manhattan. Folks, we some real Paku. Right? We is some real Paku. Some of y'all locked in here, following my notes there. The guy said, remind you all. We understand the demographics that these programs capture. That some of we big and we forgetful. Remember to share the live. Remember to share the live. Exclusive. We's Paku. What I want to tell you, the man could pay rent for the rest of the year. Eh? 119 million US dollars in profits. Right? We some real Paku. Right? Lacho want, I pay up the court money. Lacho says, Sheriff, pay up the court money. Well, Lacho, you clearly making the bank being sold and all, and us creating work for you every day like that. Help me out, man. Oh, shucks. Help me out now. We creating work for y'all every day for come and show. Help me out. I sure you want to say come off here because what you gonna do then? Help us out, Lacho. You making up a turn to Hess now and beg them? Hey, Lacho, help us out, man. Shucks. Help me out. Sad news. Bit of sad news in this point. Bit of sad news. They're telling us that we're advising the acting head of the Central Islamic Organization of Ghana, the CIOG, Gulzar Namdar, passed away quite recently. Right? Passed away quite recently. Gulzar Namdar. Our thoughts and prayers go to the then acting head of the CIOG, the Central Islamic Organization of Ghana. Our thoughts and prayers go out to our brother. Thoughts and prayers go to him. Transitioned quite recently. Came as a shock to many. Came as a shock to many. You know, and I'm trying to recollect that in Islam, there is a similar tenet, you know, us Christian believers, we say to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. They have a similar religious tenet. I'm not remembering accurately now because I don't want to delve into that area. To be absent from the body, to be present with the Lord, they have a similar sentiment they express. You know, walk good, our brother. Walk good. Walk good. Walk good. They said he was a kind person. He looked out for the poor and needy in our society. Walk good, our brother. Walk good. Turn your attention to Anil now. You remember this was the other case, Royce, the Ilford one, quite recently. This is the other case. The parliamentary secretary's case. This is Sarah Brown, PPPite, and Vikash Ramkisoon, the Pandit. Name stink in Region 3. They know the whole story, but he styles himself as a Pandit. You know, religious hypocrisy is the worst kind. The worst kind. Well, Anil said he carried the matter now to the CCJ. Remember they lost in the High Court? Lost before the Court of Appeal. He said there are constitutional matters here. P. Alicock, Isan Duke, Vesta Hardy Rajkumar, Ann Kearns, Andrew Griffith, out front parts. He says there are constitutional matters here that need clarity and conclusion. Constitutional matters in this case that need clarity and conclusion. So they're going to the CCJ. Well, Alil know when he go to the CCJ, what is the outcome of late? I don't know the CCJ, and like I should say they're getting a dislike for him. They definitely don't like the direct and public prosecution. Shalimar Ali Haq. Haq. They definitely don't like her. But the last time he appeared before the CCJ, the folks said he brought the administration, the entire administration of justice in a disrepute. I tell you what the folks said. He brought the entire administration of justice into disrepute. And the man still got to work, you know. The man still got to work. They ain't got no shame. Shame on Sarah Brown. Shame on Vikash Ramkisoon. Shame on A.G. Nandalal. They know the wrong side. They're on the wrong side of the law. They know they're on the wrong side of history. Jesse Nikki, out front parts, Easton Duke, Sheila Boyd Child, Gail Alicock, they know they're on the wrong side of the law. And they're still fighting, you know. If evil can wake up and fight like this every day, how much more us two on the side of right and good? Huh? How much more? That's why we got to stay out here fighting every day. Stay out here fighting every day. You think they're easy? They're not easy. These Jacobats and trench crappers, they're not easy. Not easy. Well, y'all buy like he gave away everything. You see me the one, y'all. Y'all buy your friend in China. Like he gave away everything. Yvette, Waveney Doris, Linda Thomas, Savita, Jesse, like he gave away everything. You gotta watch this one, you know. You gotta watch he. You gotta watch Irfan. He's telling us that Howie is going to establish a research and development center in Guyana. Folks, the Americans are very, very watchful of Howie or Huawei. They believe they spy on behalf of the Chinese government. You see? Irfan Dunn went, he promised them research and development center. And look at Guyanese right here who can get a little half figure and the mule. Right? But this catfish, he gone tell to China. And he done promise. Wait, whatever you want. You want a desk at finance? So be it. Rock and come in, Huawei. That's what he's saying. Right? That is what he's saying. You rock and come in. Whatever you want. Baby, I've got it. Whatever you need. Baby, I've got it. So they're promising things to Huawei. And it's not one thing. If it was one thing, you might not have mind so much. You see? But it's research center. And a number of other things. Research center and a number of other things. They're a promise. We right here. And you can't get a piece of land. The man bringing people from Timbuktu and say, hey, take whatever you want. Right? Take whatever you want. Hey. Take it. Whatever you want, baby, I got you. So they want to develop a college and research center in Guyana. Folks, don't come with a heavy price. Don't come with a heavy price. The man make the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken come shake his hand. And then the man gone and coaching up with China. Right? Well, I trust you're happy now. Folks, we sat down quite recently and we spoke with Amanda Walton Desire, Shadow Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional International Cooperation, rather. We spoke with her about this trip with Irfan. Man say, gotta watch them. DMP, AWD, Amanda wasn't this year. She said, you gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. Right? Bringing people from Timbuktu, Kurt. Bringing people from Shanghai, Fagilan, and people right here. Right here. We outside and we suffering. Here is what Amanda Walton Desire, the Shadow Minister, Foreign Affairs International Corporation, said recently on the subject matter of Irfan in Shanghai, Irfan in China. Take a look, folks. Share the line for us. Smash that emoji button, folks. Going down. The MP on the foreign front in foreign affairs. Recently, there were some scathing articles in all the media here about this government and their foreign policy stance. The fact that it is so incoherent, if it exists at all. We saw some pushback from them. One of the interesting things that we saw in them kind of summing up where they are in foreign relations is that they're on good terms with their neighbors. I don't think you might say that of Venezuela. I don't think you might even say that of Suriname. And we saw all of the whining and dining of Santoki. But what is there to show for that? You know, they were supposed to give us some licenses almost a year ago. Irfan is still having, is still waiting. Is still the man in waiting. He's now off to China. And, lots of us at this end, I'm sure you are this way as well. We're at the edge of our seats, popcorn and the cokes in hand.
Look, I'll say this. The PPP has not been able to adumbrate a coherent foreign policy because they are by and large transactional. And when you are transactional in your foreign relations, it leads to incoherence. So I am not surprised that they've not been able to set that out. They did a very poor job of defending against the criticisms because it could never be that we have invitations from over 50 states that is an indicator of your foreign policy success. It means that you are now an interesting state, and for very obvious reasons. We have oil.
Correct.
So it's no feather in the cap of this administration that he is so invited. There are geopolitical reasons for Guyana being at the table. Having said that, this is why it is very, very important for us as a nation to determine what our national interest is. Because failing to properly define our national interest will lead to us being blown, pulled, and tugged to and fro. And this is what is happening to the current administration because they have not been able to articulate what the national interest is. And they haven't been able to do that because they are transactional. Now, of course, as a head of state, you are expected to conduct state visits. The issue that I have with this, however, is that on their return to Guyana, the people of Guyana are not given a proper briefing as to what transpired. So we don't know what was traded away. We don't know what the negotiations were. And Irfan Ali doesn't go there in his own right. He goes as a representative of the people of Guyana.
The sad thing is that they think it's about them. It's about the
And
PPP
they
and their
think that
policies
this is
that
about
has brought them
them.
before great men.
Exactly. And so this headiness this headiness that you see characterizing their interactions on the foreign policy front is dangerous. It requires now more than ever that we have a sober, well thought out approach, bipartisan even, to our foreign policy.
Yeah.
Of paramount importance. So I would hope that when the president returns from China, because I will be asking in the National Assembly for a briefing through the Foreign Relations, the Sectoral Committee on Foreign Relations, so the Guyanese can understand, what did you go there to say on our behalf? What did you gain? What, we deserve to know. Irfan is not going there to represent Irfan. He's going there to represent us as the people of Guyana.
Yep. That's it, folks. That's it. That's the Shadow Minister for International Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Amanzo Walton, is here taking us to the paces there. You know, they get 1 or 2 invitations. They think people like them, they think it's the communist policies that bringing them before great men. They don't know it's the oil that belongs to all of us. That belongs to Freedom House. The oil belongs to all of us. It's that oil that's so attractive, Like honey to flies. It's the oil out there, folks. And I'm hoping that they can take cognizance of that and pull themselves up. Pull themselves up. Please and thank you. Folks, that's going to do it for us on this broadcast this morning. Thanks for joining us. See you guys on our next broadcast. And thanks for being here with us, each and every one of you, wherever you're joining us from. Share the live before you go, folks. We got hundreds of you watching us. Hundreds of you watching us. Share the live. Once it doesn't jeopardize your job, then buy some fire. So the Chacabats and the transcript post, they're fire and so on. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. It's been a privilege being here with each and every one of you. Debbie Collins, good to see you. And all the other folks who are joining us. Debs, we hope you're well. Debs, we hope that you're good. Please, God, we hope you're good. Who else we got with us this morning? Charlene, out front parts. Out front parts. Siobhan and So True Hector. Waverly Doris, Girali Cock, Osmond Hodge. Them boys in easy, Gotta watch. Gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. Please and thank you. We're going to see you guys back in the next broadcast. That being said, that's our time and that's our program. Stay safe, folks. Fired up and ready to go. Boots on the ground. That's how we're doing it. Stay safe. We're going to see you guys back in the next broadcast.